Pandas as far as the eye can see.
Who's that?
We'll have to get Gav Webster on. Whew. It's warm in there, like. You took your time. I thought I was going to pass out there.
Yeah, sat in it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're both filming from different locations today.
Yeah, I brought my computer down here last night because we did like a Skype, not like a Zoom drink with friends.
Yeah.
So Brian and Chloe. Oh, there's a cat there. Animals.
I've just set off my Audacity.
Sarah, and so we did I told them it was black tie. I said to them, you've got to get dressed up. It's a night out, but in. So I was in black tie. Haley had a dress on. And they didn't get ready. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? They never got the memo?
Yeah.
Shocking, man.
That sucks.
But we had a good time. It was fun. We drank a lot of beer and some Skittles vodka. And
oh, you drank vodka then?
Skittles vodka.
Yeah. Was it good?
Yeah, it was tasty. Yeah, it was too much Skittles, though. It was really sweet, like ridiculously sweet. But it was nice enough. Yeah, it was nice enough. What have you been up to, mate?
Well, not gaming.
Not
Give the gaming a little break because I woke up on what day are we on today? I'm forgetting what days it is. Sunday. So I woke up on Friday with one red eye, and then I freaked the fuck out thinking it was coronavirus. And then it turns out it's a thing called gamer's eye.
All right.
So because I don't blink when I game, so my eye gets really dry.
Yeah.
And then it just makes it go bloodshot.
Oh God, that's not good. So you just intently staring like that the whole time?
Yeah.
Wow. That's definitely not good for you, is it?
But it was really weird because it's never done it to me when I play Red Dead Redemption. But
sorry, the cat's trying to get out the window even though it's not open.
I played FIFA and that's when it flared up. So I think it might be how quick the characters move on the game and how bright the game is, like all the mad colours that they've got in it.
Yeah. Strange.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. Like I said, I freaked out a bit when I woke up in the morning, looked at the mirror, and I just seen like one zombie eye. I was like, oh no, I've got the virus.
So on Friday, I did another live stream with Peckham Wanley. That was quality.
Oh yeah, I seen that. It was good.
That was really, really good. Oh yeah, we spoke actually on the night because when I got in, you were with Adam and what was the other guy?
Jenks.
Dale, that was it. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So you were already having a live stream. Sorry, not a live stream, but like a podcast with them, weren't you? Just a conversation.
Yeah. We were just having a chat and just having a few beers together.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed until about 2:00. I don't think. But yeah, the live stream was really good, man. It was so much fun. I'm trying to find something that's a little bit better for it, technology-wise. So at the moment, I'm using quite an old piece of technology. It's called the Roland VR3EX, and it's sort of like a vision mixer, but it doesn't even do HD. It's well old.
Okay.
And Blackmagic Design have just brought out something that's mega small, mega cheap, but it works full HD. So I'm trying to get one of them at the moment, but they're out of stock everywhere because obviously everyone's sort of doing exactly the same thing. They've just sold out everywhere. So I'm hoping to get one of them. I know they've got a new version coming out as well, a pro version. So I might splash out on that as well. Just so that I can get it in full HD, because at the moment what I'm having to do, I'm having to record them separately. We do the live stream, but then I'm having to edit sort of the HD version.
Right.
I'd rather just record the HD version and skip out the editing side of it.
Yeah.
That would be so much more fun. Much easier for me anyway. So I spend my life editing, man.
Yeah. How's the weather been up there this weekend?
It's been actually all right. It hasn't been warm. Like everyone was saying, it was going to be a week.
We've had it really windy.
Yeah, it's been quite windy here today, actually. Yeah, because in my front garden, we've got quite a big bush that's overgrown, and it's been overgrown for years. So we got a hedge trimmer off my sister, and we proper chopped it down. And I had ivy grown all the way up the side of the house, so that all got ripped down as well. Because I've got a skip arriving tomorrow to get rid of all of the stuff and stuff out the backyard, because we get the hot tub soon. The hot tub's coming.
Have you cleared space and stuff in your back?
Sorry?
Have you cleared space and that in your back?
Yeah, so I got the wood chip delivered last night.
Nice.
So that's ready to go down, but we need to get rid of all the rubbish first, because we'd done loads of work in the house and bought a lot of things just before lockdown. Well, you can't go to the dump. So backyard's just covered in stuff. Like even stuff like new blinds. So they're just sitting out in the backyard that need binning and stuff like that. So just put my phone on silent. So yeah, so we've done that today. I'm so unfit, man. I was destroyed. So I dug the garden out yesterday. It's because our backyard sort of like on a it's not like that. It's just a little slope. But for a hot tub, that's no good. So I had to dig the back out and like get all the soil to the front and then flatten it all out.
Level it all off, yeah.
Like a 2 meter square patch, which is flat for the hot tub. So I did that yesterday. I was wrecked, and then cutting the hedge today, wrecked. I'm so fat and unfit, and I'm just, I don't know what to do, man. I've got no motivation to sort of exercise. Like I don't find any enjoyment in it whatsoever. I absolutely hate it. I love to drink beer. Like I really, this is my lifeline. I'm not an alcoholic, but I just love a beer. You know what I mean? And it's difficult.
Yeah, I mean it is like you've just got to keep sort of. You've got that exercise machine anyway, haven't you? That you can use. But stick a podcast on. Listen to a podcast. Just go for a walk for an hour. You don't have to smash it. You just 3 kilometers. Start off with a 3 kilometer walk, and then just slowly build up.
Well, I was doing it. I used to do 8 kilometers, Seaton Carew, which is our local seaside town for those of you that don't know. We haven't even done an introduction on this. We just sort of went straight into it. Well,
Seaton Carew, for people that don't know, is famous for the guy that faked his own death.
It did, yeah.
And then hid in the house next door. Yeah, the canoe man.
The canoe guy. So he faked his death, lived in a little flat that had an adjoining door to his house. Yeah. And then he flew to Panama on a fake passport. They did a TV.
And then his missus joined him, and there was a picture taken that was put on it. Was it a travel agent's website or a?
Yeah, him and his wife.
He got a call.
We should get him on the podcast.
That'd be good.
Do you know what he does now? So he lives in Thailand, and he's a street vendor in Thailand.
Okay.
So this guy went from having like one of the biggest houses in Hartlepool, Seaton Carew anyway, develop. He was doing all right. Tried to con the money out of the insurance company, and now he sells stuff on the streets of Thailand. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
His wife went to jail. Did he go to jail as well?
Yeah. He did a couple more years. I think she did like maybe 2 years, was it?
Yeah. And the worst part of it is, the worst part of that story is they lied to their children.
Yeah.
That for me is like, wow, you creepy fuckers. Creepy fuckers. The mum and dad, the mum had the lads, they had 2 sons. The 2 sons came over to the house while the dad was in his little hideout.
Yeah.
And they would sit there and like have family time when the dad's on the other side of the wall. How freaky is that, man?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, did he even have his grandkids and that? They were born and turned up to the house.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It's freaky as fuck. Seaton Carew, if you go from the Sandy car park all the way along to the breakwater and back, it's 8 kilometers exactly. So I was doing that, and it fucking killed me. It proper killed us, like, because I'm way overweight. But I was doing it, and I was quite enjoying it. But again, it's that whole time, like having the time to do it. So I was finishing work at 5, drive down to the breakwater, walk all the way along and back, and then drive home. And it added like an extra hour onto me day. Not the worst thing in the world, but it's you know, I've got a lot of things going on, and I need to do something about the whole weight issue. Like, I've just realised I'm not recording audio on here. I need to hit my audio recorder on.
You will notice as well, though, dude. Like when I stopped drinking like I used to drink, the weight just fell off me, mate.
I know that, but I don't want to. Like I don't want to. No desire to stop drinking beer. Like I remember when I stopped smoking. So I stopped smoking 4 years ago. And
it's been that long?
Yeah, it's 4 years ago, and I was just like, right, stop smoking. I just did it. There wasn't any sort of like. The reason we stopped smoking was because at the time I was a little bit skint, and we needed a new car. And I said to Haley, I said, look, I've worked out if we stop drinking, smoking, and getting takeaways for a whole month, we can afford like a cheap car. And we did, and I never started smoking again. But I wanted to stop smoking. I don't want to stop drinking. I like having a beer, you know. I really do. It's not like alcoholic standards, but I do like a beer. I don't need to get up and wake up and have one. But when it gets to about 5 o'clock, I'm like, it's beer time. when that gets to like before lunch, then I'll worry.
Yeah, fair one.
You're wobbling a lot, Nick.
Yeah, it's this. I'm at sea.
You're at sea.
I'm on a boat, mate. I've left the house. I'm on a boat.
Are you that worried about the impending doom of having a child that you've done a runner?
Yeah. Well, it's just on the table. I've just rested my arms on the table.
All right. Okay.
So as I talk, it's all wobbled.
I don't think it'll be too bad. Are you recording audio, by the way?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You are. Yeah. Right. Well, I've hit mine anyway. So tonight we've got a friend of mine coming on the podcast. She's an actress, comedian, singer, all-around entertainer. Lucia, Rovardi, Tomlinson. We'll get her on in about 5 minutes, I think. I've done a couple of things with her in the past few months, and hopefully going forward, we're going to do a couple more things, potentially for Channel 4, which is a UK broadcaster. Hopefully going to try and get maybe as a pilot of a comedy idea that we've got together. She's very, very talented woman. Very, very talented. I think you'll have a good crack with her. Top Teesside bird.
Okay, is she from Borough, is she?
Yeah, she's from Middlesbrough, yeah. She's from Middlesbrough.
I've seen a video.
She's got a character, it's called Tiana Leigh. I'm not going to say too much, actually, because I'll let her explain all of that stuff.
Okay, so I'll leave you to take the lead on this one, mate.
Yeah, absolutely, that's fine. No worries, not at all. Not a bother at all. So that's got sort of been my sort of weekend, just a bit of gardening, bit of live streaming with musicians, bit of boozing.
Yeah, I've done a bit of boozing. Planted a few tulips.
What? Planted tulips.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
I'm going to be sorting my strawberries out shortly. I've had them grown now for this will be the third time they've grown in, and I've not actually picked any yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the bush just keeps getting thicker and thicker, and I just keep adding the strawberries back into the soil.
Yeah.
So that there's even more for the next year. So yeah, it's getting to a point now where they're going to have to come out of there and onto a bigger thing, and then we can start picking them.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's it. That's our survival.
I would never have put you to be a gardener.
Huh?
I said you were a gardener. Like I never said Nick the gardener.
No, it wasn't really anything I was interested in until a couple of years ago, and then it must be one of those things. You must get to a certain age, and there's a switch that goes, you're into gardening now, and you go, oh, yeah, I'm into gardening.
Driving past the garden centre, and you're like, oh, should we just have a pop in there? That's when you when you want to go.
Oh, this bush looks good. Should we buy it? Oh, now we need all the pots and the shovel.
I mean, the only bush you would buy when you were in your 20s was, there's two different kinds of bush you would buy, isn't there? But yeah, it's not the kind of thing that you think when you're in your 20s. When you're hitting 40, well, you are 40, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 40 now, yeah.
I fucking hate
it's mid-30s. It's mid-30s. It's when you start wearing, you stop wearing trainers and you start wearing walking trainers everywhere, or walking shoes.
Nah, Jordans all the way, mate. Jordans. I was just on Foot Asylum today, and I bought a couple of pairs of Jordans because
Nice.
I went for years. I think I mentioned this before. I went for years of just sort of like when I was 18, I went ridiculous on expensive clothing and designer labels, and then I was basically had no money left throughout my 20s and early 30s, and so I just had to buy the cheapest shit ever. And so I bought a pair of Jordans about a year ago, and I was like I used to play basketball, so I was always big into me Jordans and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, these are the most comfortable things ever. And to be fair, they look a year on, they look exactly the same as when I bought them. Yet I would buy shit trainers that would last a month. So it's worth spending that extra money on it, really. So that's all I do is I buy Jordans now.
I think the most I've ever spent on a pair of trainers is like 70 quid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go for I'm not going to go for the 170 pound ones. I'd stick to like the 130 quid ones. But they last, man. They just last so well. But also, I'm sat in my fat ass all the time as well. So it's not like I'm walking like mega miles.
Yeah. Reebok Classics were my choice of trainer back in the day.
What was that?
Reebok Classics. They were my choice of trainer back in the day. With me Toshino fucking tracky top on.
Sergio Tacchini.
yeah, that's it.
I used to have Sergio Tacchini, Puma King. I had all sorts of stuff, mate. I never went for the whole Kappa thing. Like, I didn't get that shit.
I had a nice Kappa. I had a couple of nice Kappa.
I can imagine you're a bit chavvy, you know.
Juventus was sponsored by him as well, I think, at the time.
Were
they? Yeah. I think they still might be, actually.
Yeah. I was just having a laugh because the whole thing was Kappa slappers.
Yeah.
Kappa slappers.
And the old, can you remember the old, what were they called? NAFCO 54
NAFCO
jackets.
54. Yeah. I had NAF. Well, there was two. There was NAF and there was NAFCO 54.
Yeah.
NAF was the expensive stuff. NAFCO 54 was what you bought at Geordie Jeans.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Geordie Jeans is like was a northeast institution. You would go in the Metro Centre before you went into Metroland and go into there and you get Spliffy. Was it Spliffy or Eclipse?
Yeah, Spliffy jeans.
Eclipse.
Yeah, Eclipse as well. Yeah.
Oh, I had everything Eclipse. I used to have a waistcoat, an Eclipse.
Is it?
Back now, what a dick.
Yeah, mate. Some of the clothes I bought back in the day were, when you still look at them as well, awful. I remember an Adidas shell suit I had. So,
yeah. I used to wear shell suits, and this goes back to trainers actually. So when I was 12, I was 2 weeks off being 12-year-old, and I used to always wear shell suits, and I just got a brand new pair of Reebok pumps, right? You know, like the ones with the basketball on the front.
So to make you jump higher.
Yeah, exactly. Total bollocks. So I'd been out with my mum and dad that morning, so I had jeans on. Now I very rarely wore jeans, only when I went out. I'd always wear a shell suit.
Rarely wore jeans, only when you went out.
And I got set on fire. My shoe caught alight. My brand new Reebok pumps. I'm not going to go into the story of how it happened. It was just boys being dickheads. And my shoe caught alight. Luckily, I'd been out with my mum and dad that day, and I had jeans on rather than the shell suit. If it had been a shell suit, Fada went up like just a match. Honestly, they were the most flammable things you could ever, and it would probably stick to you as well because it was just pure nylon.
Right, I'm 2 seconds. I'm going to go get my interview hat.
You what?
My interview hat.
Your interview hat. All right, I didn't realise we had like an interview hat. Okay, everybody. So Nick's fucked off to get his interview hat, whatever that is. I'm just gonna hit up Lucia again.
Interview hat.
I did send her the link, but for some reason it never came through. She's just sent me one of them faces on WhatsApp. I wonder why the email didn't go through. Yeah, it had gone through. Anyway, she should be joining us just now. But yeah, so I ended up spending 6 months in hospital after that.
Okay.
Because me fucking Reebok pumps caught like and burnt my leg. That wasn't the only reason. It was because I had shit doctors who didn't test me for iodine, which I'm allergic to, and then they put loads of iodine dressings on my leg. That was basically an open wound, effectively, or a brand new skin, and it just totally ate it away and then never grew back.
Did you know you were allergic to it before they did it?
Nah, no.
Oh, okay.
But they're supposed to test you for it. Multiple skin grafts, lots of time off school. Spent I think a good part of 4 months in hospital. I think in two states, in a wheelchair, the full lot. That's actually when I got fat. I was so when I went into hospital, I was 5 stone 5, I think, and when I came out, I was about 8 stone, and that's because I was just laid in bed all the time or in a wheelchair, and hospital food was shit. My mum and dad used to bring me like Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Burger King.
I imagine Big Cremo bringing in all sorts of good food for you
every day, man. No, not even good food. I was one of those kids that never ate anything good for you. It was always just shit food. But I was always active, so I was dead skinny. And then when I got out, I was 8 stone, and so I'd put on like 2.5 stone, and I never ever shifted that weight. Could never shift it. Yeah. So.
What did you think about what the Queen has to say tonight?
Oh, don't get me started on the Queen. Oh, Lucia's coming in. Here she is.
Hello.
Hello. Audio should be coming on in just a second. It says audio is connecting. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can now, yes. Hello.
Well, there's a borough accent if I ever heard one.
On my very cheap poor laptop, I wasn't sure if this would work.
Yeah, of course it will.
Yes, great.
Absolutely. Wicked, how are you?
Good, yeah. It's nice to see some other faces other than my husband and 3 children, to be honest, and waving at people through windows. I was actually stood at we've put like big teddy bears now a window, people walking past. And I was like a crazy woman with the kids, like, let's knock on the window and wave at people to walk past.
Teddy bears, come on.
I saw a girl I knew and I was like, hi. Oh, God, crazy, sorry, crazy lady.
That'll be something your kids will be talking about when they get back to school. And then what did you do during isolation? Scared the neighbours.
Yeah, yes, basically, yes.
Fantastic.
I didn't realise how sociable I was, to be honest, until all of this.
Yeah, it's hit everybody, hasn't it? It's like it's such a different experience.
I mean, I've had like a couple of days, like I text a good friend of mine just to say, you know, I hope you're all right. Sent her one of these funny memes, as there's like millions going round, aren't there? And she was kind of like, I've had a really crap day today, but it's fine. And I was like, you know what? I've had quite a nice day today, but yesterday I had a really like crap day where you just like, God, it feels like a struggle just getting through it, even though, you know, we're all well, we're lucky, we've got a garden.
We've got Netflix.
Yeah. Got Netflix.
Disney Plus.
Play on the kids. I don't have to. But yeah, just, I don't know about yourselves. Have you been a bit the same? Some days you're like,
some days, yeah. I mean, to be honest, me,
you're busy working.
I just get on with that shit. It's fine. Haley had a really bad day yesterday, to the point, like, I could see her getting redder and redder, you know, like on the cartoon. Yeah. When they get angry and it just goes up like that, that's what was happening to her face. Yeah. And I was like, look, you go chill. I'll kill the kid. We'll bury him. It's fine. We're getting a hot tub. We'll go into the hot tub. But yeah, she was angry. Like, it hit her. And I think she struggled a little bit today as well. But we got shit-faced last night, so maybe she's just had a hangover.
Yeah. Could be the hangover, mate.
Are you isolating alone, or have you got family and stuff?
No, I'm isolating with my very heavily pregnant wife, so...
Hormones.
Yeah, she's not killed me yet, so this is a good thing.
You're doing very well then to living with a heavily pregnant woman, because I've been there 3 times and it's not pleasant.
But she's been pretty cool all the way through this so far. So
how far on is she?
So we're just coming up 7.5 months.
Love it how he says we are. No. She is, mate. She is. It's not we. It's not we.
Basically, I'm not allowed to play any more part in it. Like, I'm not allowed to go to scans anymore. I'm not allowed. Like, we're still going to wait to see if I can actually be at the birth when it happens.
Of course,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, that sucks. So 7.5 months. Will we be through? We might be through it by that point.
Fingers
I
crossed.
don't know.
Oh, that is like for your
birthday.
first. That's a bit of a shame, yeah.
But she went for a scan the other day. Everything's good, and they've moved our hospital now. All the sort of units and that aren't anything to do with the virus is they've been to the football ground, so she has to have a scan in the home changing room of Plymouth Argyle.
Bloody hell! So where are you? Where are you based, Nick?
I'm down in Plymouth.
Right, because I was going to go. Oh, you're at North Tees, which is like our local hospital, but no. So.
I should introduce you really. So, Lucia, Nick, Lucia. Nick is a comedian. He lived in Hartlepool for like 20 odd years.
Yeah.
But then he moved back down to Plymouth 5 years ago? 4 years ago?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then he got hitched last year. So this is how we communicate now. So that's why we decided to start the podcast, because we talk shit to each other on the phone anyway. So we thought we may as well record it and see if anybody else wants to listen to our podcast.
Anybody else wants to join in, yeah.
Well, they're brilliant, aren't they? Like, Chris loves podcasts, because my husband, that is. So he's got me onto them more. He's like, oh, you must listen to this one and that one, because he's in the car a lot. And they are.
Which ones are you listening to?
He's listening to, well, he started off with the Peter Crouch podcast.
I've heard that's really good.
It's a good one, isn't it? And he's into sport in general and football probably preferably, but he said it's a nice one, easy to listen to, and it's not just all about football, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he was listening to one called The True Geordie today. Have you heard of him?
Love True Geordie.
Yeah,
I was trying to get him into
I've seen a few True Geordies, yeah.
I was trying to get him into Comedy Sparks. I've got a brilliant sketch with him in mind, because a few months, or it was like last year at some point, some of his DMs got released, what he'd been DMing with this girl.
That's right.
Filthy. They were proper filthy. But it was
were
like
animals involved or something?
Well, no, he wanted her to take a shit on his chest and stuff.
Oh, right. It was shit involved. I knew it was either like animals or...
So I've got this brilliant sketch where, like, it's a guy who's been on the internet searching pegging, and I want him for it, and he's a big burly bloke as well. It'll be brilliant seeing him getting pegged.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard any of his podcasts, but Chris was painting the conservatory today, and he was like listening to it, and he was like, oh, this is brilliant, you must listen to this one. So
I tell you what, it's a good one for you to listen to, and this is, I was already listening to a lot of podcasts back when I listened to this one, but it's called My Dad Wrote a Porno.
Someone else has told me about that.
Brilliant. If you haven't listened to it, it's absolutely brilliant. Definitely get on it, because the first season's amazing. After that, it drops off a little bit, but yeah, it's quality.
Infinite Monkey Cage as well. That's worth a listen to.
Very good.
I should be making notes here, but I'll listen.
It's all right. This gets recorded, Lucia. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so
you just
Nick,
have to watch it back.
Yeah. So Nick, I met Lucia in November.
Right. Yeah,
November, and I got him, but I already knew about her, but didn't know her. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your character?
Yes, so I have spontaneously ended up creating a comedy character who, when I actually Googled her the other day, she came up as a singer-songwriter. Tiana Leigh, she's called. And I was like, cool, Tiana Leigh's a singer-songwriter, which she is. She has always expressed herself through song. And whenever I write anything for her, I've written like a lot of sketches, but they're not exactly screenplays. But I end up writing songs, sort of poems, I guess, and then I put music to them. But I did a song, my first song I did with her, my cousin at the time, who was a really successful director, TV and film director now. At the time he wasn't, he was kind of just emerging. We did some videos together because he was wanting to do some music videos. And I was like, I'll do some stuff. I was desperate at the time. I'd just given birth to my second son, and I hadn't sort of done anything for a couple of years. I'd moved up from London as well after having my second child. And I was just feeling a little bit like, I'll do anything. And sitting at the piano was a way I could kind of just, have a bit of time to myself. So I came up with this character because at the time, remember Benefit Street? I didn't really watch it, but it was in the news quite a lot. And
didn't they do it in Stockton at some point?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was. It was in Stockton. And anyway, this character came about. We put the video online, and it was just so popular. And I was constantly getting messages to sort of do more videos. So we filmed another video, and that was quite successful as well. And then in the meantime, I just sort of was writing little sketches in my notebook and things. And then I met Adam because obviously the Comedy Sparks were going ahead. And that was an opportunity. Once my youngest had gone to school as well, I was looking for ways to try and get back into doing things. And because I'm not a stand-up comedian, are you a stand-up then, Nick?
I did do it for many years. Yeah, I don't do it too much now.
You don't do it as much. I know, because you have to be like into it, don't you? Have to. I did a bit in London before I had kids and before I moved up, and I found it like I loved it when it was going well, and then when it was going awful, it was awful.
We've all been there.
Myself, you have to really be into it and immerse yourself and be thinking about it and working on your set, because I'm not spontaneous enough to be funny, really, to be like fast and quick.
Neither am I.
She's lying here, by the way. She's totally lying.
You're totally lying. You're totally full of shit there. So I wanted to get back into doing some acting because I was a full-time actor before I moved up here.
So you were in the West End and
yes, I was
screen.
I did a lot of a lot of repertory theatre, as they call it, working with theatre companies, doing plays with them, a lot of straight plays, and then I was in the West End for a few years in London. So I've got a lot of experience in theatre, in live theatre.
So what's that like? So what's that whole process then? I mean, obviously you leave school, go to college or something, and then
it's funny being from Borough. I had no sort of. I had for all my parents, encouraged me to go to the local drama club. I loved it. I made my mum join as like a teacher because I so wanted to go, and I never got the main parts or anything. I just really enjoyed performing and singing and dancing, and I was that annoying little sister that where my brothers even now will like turn around and be like, the heat is on in Saigon, the girls are hotter than hell, and that's a song out of Miss Saigon, because I used to go around singing and tap dancing. I was really annoying, and, so I just loved it. I loved like the camaraderie of going and doing shows, dress rehearsals, being at theatre. And then I was like, I want to be an actor. I auditioned for the National Youth Theatre, which I did get into. And then I did that for a summer. And that was amazing. But you sort of think, how do you get into these things? How do you become an actor? Is it feasible? Yeah. So I did do A-levels and stuff. And I did quite well at school. And then I just sort of, I don't know, I bottled it a little bit. I sort of thought, there's no way I can do this and make a career out of it. And I think my dad was a bit like, you should go to university first and you should, do it properly. And then I met my now husband, who was like, fuck that. I want to be a long jumper. Like, do it. Like, if you want to be an actor, do it. What are you waiting for? So I was like, yeah. So I went and auditioned I joined a band first because I left. I was supposed to go to university, and I just ducked out at the last minute. I was going to study languages at Leeds, and my parents were like, "Oh my God, you've got to do something! What are you going to do now?" So I joined a band, and we toured around the country, and I went abroad.
Just exactly what any parent wants to hear. I've joined a band.
Yeah, 50 quid a gig. Honestly, it was the hardest year of my life. We had to do all the get-ins, all the get-outs. We were like jetting all over, down to Plymouth, and
I bet you had loads of fun though.
Oh, it was amazing, yeah, and it was good craft.
What was the band called?
We were called Silhouette.
And where can we see that? Where can we see you and hear?
Oh my God! Well, we did like all sorts. We did the social clubs, working man's pubs. We did all the RAF, all the Navy places.
Yeah.
Went abroad to Israel for like a month and worked out with some big clubs there.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think I mean, obviously YouTube was around, but I think it's a case of like my mum and dad have got like a VHS cassette of me, like.
Oh, that's mint. You need to get that transcoded onto digital and get it up online.
Some of the outfits were pretty, pretty racy when I look back. Tiana Leigh would have loved them.
I bet.
When was this? Was this like the early 2000s, back in the 90s?
Yeah, so this will have been 2001, 2002.
Okay.
So it was good times, and then I managed to went to drama school. Was lucky I got an agent at the end of that. Hustled my way through all that. Did theatre, and I was very much at that point. I was a bit like, yes, I'm an actor, and that's that's all I was focused on. But I think in this day and age now, with all this technology, and there's so many other things you can do, and there's different ways of branching out, and it's taken me all this time to have a bit of a break in terms of having a family and moving our lives and everything, for me to realise that you can do a lot of it yourself, and you can put yourself out there in different ways now, can't you?
So, you definitely can. I mean, there's so many different platforms where you can be successful on now. I mean, I'm obsessed with TikTok at the moment. Like, totally obsessed with TikTok. I love it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I think of being TikToking all day. It's so fun.
That's what a clock does, isn't it?
There are people who are like jumping ship from YouTube and going over there and making an absolute killing on it.
How do they make a revenue from it?
I haven't quite worked that out yet.
I know.
There's adverts on there, so some people must be getting paid, but probably what they're doing is they're getting paid sponsors by companies and things like that. That's how I think it must be working for them.
You must need an agent, like a digital agent or something.
You just sign up to different it depends on what level you're working at. If you have a big following, they'll come and find you. If you're small following but you're growing, they'll come. There's places you can go. So there'll be sort of networks of other what they're called, creators. So there'll be like one big network with lots of different creators underneath, and that network makes money through those creators, and then everybody gets a little bit of a share of it.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's a sort of thing, again, a few years ago, someone would have said that to me, and I'd have been a bit naive and been like, what? You can make money? I mean, even with YouTube, it's like, I'm not making a killing. I'm just starting out and trying to. I mean, even that video I put up the other day, I just checked there. It's got like 40,000 views.
Wow!
Just on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then it's got about 10,000 on Facebook.
That's amazing.
And about 6,000 on TikTok. So that's over 55,000 views across social media.
That is crazy, and I think your character lends herself to those platforms massively, because there's so many.
So have you based? Sorry, Adam, go on.
No, go on, Nick.
So did you base the character on anybody in particular, or was it just a mix of people?
It was just a mix. But I really feel I know her now so much. She is a proper full-on. Well, she is a full-on character, but she is a full-on character, and she's based a little bit on no one in particular, but sort of my experiences growing up and being from, I'm a proper borough girl.
Typical borough lass.
She's a borough lass, but she's also lends herself to other communities. She's quite British, sort of. Well, you'll have to watch the videos and see what you think.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, you've seen the ones I've shared with you anyway, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you seen the one, the biggest one, the living on benefits one, the original? That one. I mean, that was the one that I saw years ago, and I was like, "That's
okay."
Yeah, that was crazy. And me and my cousin literally just went out with his little Canon camera, this little thing. I don't know what it was, 5D or something, and we just went out and about. And he had a bit of an idea of where we were going, and we just tried different things out, and we shot it in literally a few hours. Just goes to show sometimes creatively you do something that's that it was a good song and a good character, but you do something just off the cuff and it can really work, and other things you put so much of your energy into, and it's not as sort of doesn't take as well. But
I've learned that over the years. I mean, even for the YouTube channel I run, sometimes I'll see a video and I'm like, right, that's going to go viral. This video is going to be amazing. Everyone's going to love it. And it doesn't go viral. And then all of a sudden we did, remember that the Matt Fong came and got his nails done for the Nail channel. And we did this stupidly long nail. It was like this long. And he got like 3 million views in like a few weeks. And it made thousands of pounds. And we just thought it was a stupid video. But you just never know what's going to work. And I think that's why you have to keep creating content.
Keep creating and not overthink it, and a few stuff like at the minute I thought, right, I'm writing like a bit of a rap battle between Tiana Leigh and a middle class mum who's homeschooled. So a bit of the differences of the homeschooling and things. And
so you and your character.
Yes, so I'll play both characters. You know, the middle class mum's fuming because she's ran out of yeast for the sourdough bread. Tiana Leigh's, fine with a thick white Corvis sliced. But and almost don't overthink it. Just do it. Just put it up, and you might watch it and think, oh, that could have been better or that. But you're better off just putting stuff out there, really.
You are, and I was there's a YouTuber that I really admire. He's only a young lad. He's called Mr. Beast. And he does
I've seen him.
Totally amazing videos, right? And he started off doing just like gaming videos and that kind of thing. I mean, he is the fastest growing YouTuber now, and the stuff he does is amazing. But the reason I quite admire him is he's got a lot of brains about him, and what he set a challenge. So he's got one of his friends or somebody he knows. He's not going to help him by plugging the channel.
Right.
What he said to the guy is, right, okay, you're going to make 100 videos, but every single time you make a video, you're going to improve one thing in that video.
Okay.
And he said, by the end of it, you will have 1 million subscribers, and I will have had nothing to do with it, except for just helping you, guiding you a little bit.
Wow.
And it's just that whole thing of just improve just one thing. You don't need to be out of the box. Like, you don't need to, nothing, you don't just get handed something and it's like, bang, wow, it's out of the box, it's amazing. There's a lot of work goes into things, and that work pays off. And on the internet, you can put out as much content as you want, so you can just make those little improvements every day if you wanted to. Twice a day if you wanted to put content out.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? Do you do online stuff then?
Not really. I'm kind of like an ape when it comes to technology.
That was like me.
I'm sort of, I'm of that generation where we grew up without any of it, you know what I mean? And then when it all finally started coming up, it just wasn't sinking in. I picked up Windows 98.
The thing is, though, we did I remember my brothers having your Amigas and they even had the one where
Nick's the same age as us, right?
Had to type in a code to sort of get on there. What would that have been? Will that have been the Amiga?
Probably.
Yeah, Amiga 500.
Yeah, and even one before that.
So, but I used to have one of those Amstrad CPC 464.
An Amstrad, yeah.
With a green screen, you used to have to put the tape in to load Double Dragon. It'd take 45 minutes one side of the tape. You'd flip the tape and it'd get to the last 2 minutes and then chew the tape up.
Yeah, it would crash. Yeah, I had those as well.
I was just a Super Nintendo. That's all I played on, really. Donkey Kong and, Super Mario Brothers. I spent one summer, me and my friends, I must have put on about 2 stone just eating Mars ice creams and Sainsbury's margarita pizzas and playing on the Super Nintendo. I look back and I think there's me stressing over my kids. What's that?
That sounds like lockdown.
Yeah, I know. And I'm there you've been on the PS4 too long, switch it off. And Chris is like, I'm sure we were probably just as bad as kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I don't know how it was for you, but when I was a kid, it was especially during the summer holidays, that you couldn't hang around the house. You weren't allowed to hang around the house.
Yeah,
we used to get up at 8 o'clock and it'd be right, out you go. And then that'd be it. And until
Yeah.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, when your mum stood on the doorstep screaming at you to get in.
Yeah, that was us. But I don't know now whether we're a bit too protective. I mean, you'll find when you have your little one, you think, oh yeah, I'll just let them go and play out. But my eldest has just turned 8, and I think I was about 8 or 9 when I was going to play out. There is no way I would let him just go and play out right now. No way. And I think
it was different back then, I think, though. You know what I mean? We didn't have any of these. There was no Facebook. There was no social media. There wasn't weird guys texting, trying to send messages.
I think actually social media puts a lot of fear into people.
It makes
because you hear so many stories on social media. I mean, when I was growing up, I was 8-year-old in Seaton Carew, and I used to go out by myself all the time, like on my bike around Seaton Carew, and there was no issues. It was no problem whatsoever. And the same when I lived in Horden. I was a little bit older, but I used to go missing for 2 days.
You know, I'd my friend would be out all day, Yeah,
I'd stay at my friend's house, but I wouldn't. Oh, there's a cat.
Oh.
That's because back at school, mate, we got shown stranger danger videos.
Yeah.
Danger videos. Yeah.
Don't get into a car if somebody offers you a lollipop.
Oh, but yeah, it is. I don't think the world is a much more dangerous place. I just think there's a lot more fear in the world.
Yeah, I think we're more as a parent, and I try not to be, but you are more around your kids and aware of what they're doing. So even though my mum says it, I mean, I'm one of 5, and she's like, "Oh God, I wouldn't want to be a parent nowadays. It's hard work. It's like, you know, all the school work you get sent home, all the paperwork, you know, kids should be doing this, kids should be doing that." And she's like, when you were younger, it was like, you got sent home your storybook, you did your reading. Now it's like my kids have this homework, that homework, we're getting sent online work to do, obviously, over the lockdown period. And I am trying, I've got set up like a little classroom in the front room to do a bit of work every day. But I just think, God, like, I don't know, I just think my parents wouldn't have read into it all as much. They'd have just been like, not worried.
We've got the work wall there. And even though Isaac's at like a special school, still has to do his work. And it's just like, it's more drawn and things like that. But we're having to keep in that routine with him.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, when I was a kid, I would have loved 4 months off.
I know. Yeah, my kids are enjoying it, I must admit. The lads especially are just loving it. It's like, but I'm cooking, like the 3, even just like doing all the meals. And my 8-year-old now, he's ravenous constantly. You know, he's like, he cried the other day when he came down for tea because I'd just done like a daft, like I'd done a nice gammon, like the love just sliced gammon, rice and sweet corn. He cried. He was like, "This is my tea." I was like, "Yeah." I was sick of flogging over the hob like every 2 hours trying to feed you.
I think you need to start cookery lessons then with them.
Yeah, you know what? I said that to him.
I
Said, "You cook us some dinners then." He wants like lamb kebabs and full on, you know, steaks. I cooked me and my husband steak the other night, and he was like, "I want one of them. Where's mine? Where's mine?" It's like, you're having fish fingers.
Yeah.
I remember at Christmas, this is when I was a kid, one of my best friends, Graham, his Christmas wish was to have a dinner as big as his dad's. That was his Christmas wish. He just wanted a dinner as big as his dad's.
That's gonna be right. That's gonna be my son, I'm telling you. Oh, brilliant.
I've found myself the last couple of Christmases though, I have to wear one of those, like, I used to always wear jeans or something while I was eating the Christmas dinner. Now I'm down to like
no, this is me.
Bottoms,
leggings.
I've got me tracky bottoms on, like
baggy jumper.
I'm always a jeans and t-shirt person, but for the past 2 weeks I've worn tracksuit bottoms.
I have, and I've never worn tracksuit bottoms since I was pregnant, but I've just can't bear the tightness of my jeans because I'm just eating so much.
I have my jeans to go out on the house to get some shopping and stuff when I go down to the shops, but like I get freaked out when I come back and I'm like, what if I brought this virus with me on my jeans? Take them off, hang them up.
Take them off.
Don't touch them for 48 hours.
I know.
Oh,
have you been well then during this? You haven't had any ailments?
No, I've not. Members of the family and stuff have, but they're all right. So,
what's it looking like?
I think Haley's had a cough for the past 3 weeks. But it's nothing to do with coronavirus. It's just, you can tell it's like a chesty cough.
All the stuff she smokes.
Don't say that. I did find some cigarettes a few months ago.
Were they yours though, Adam?
Oh, they were mine. I stopped smoking we were just talking about this actually.
Really?
I stopped smoking 4 years ago.
You ever crave one?
And I would never have another one ever again. I just know I wouldn't.
Well, you see, I've never smoked, and I crave cigarette. I like sometimes now and again think, I like a cigar now and again.
Yeah.
Just the feeling of it.
How can you crave something you've never had?
It's like I don't know, because I don't really like smoke. I can't smoke. Okay. I'm like Sandra D. I'm rubbish. I just like cough.
If somebody's smoking around me, I love the smell of it.
Smell of it? Well, that's like me.
I could never take a drag again. It would make me throw up.
Yeah, it's better that way, isn't it? Really, that you.
Yeah. So
I need to stop.
Oh, are you a smoker?
Do you still smoke cigarettes, Nick?
Yeah.
Weed.
If I've got it, yeah. But yeah, cigarettes as well.
Nick's been a bit stir crazy for the past couple of weeks because he hasn't been able to get any weed.
Oh God!
The dealers are on lockdown as well.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. How is that working for people? Like, surely this must be deals still going on. I mean, there's letterboxes.
Yeah, but they just sort of wear like hazmat suits, so it's quite conspicuous.
It's like a Tesco's. You sort of stand outside. You're all self-distancing. We'll stand there with your pot. Oh, come in. Put the rest on the air. In we go.
Yeah, that's an odd one. That's an odd one. So obviously we did the comedy shorts in December, and they've both been released now, and they've both been received really, really well. I know the views are going up and up on No Filter, even though they changed the name, which I hate the fact that they changed the name. And we've obviously talked about probably next steps as to what we're going to do. Again, with Channel 4, hopefully, and possibly the BBC. But what are you doing? Obviously, you've done the isolation song. What are you doing yourself just to keep you sort of fresh?
Well, the first sort of week of this isolation, I'll be honest with you, it did sort of hit me hard, and I was like in a bit of a slump about it. I know, like, and I remember seeing you like, yeah, I'm so busy and I'm still working and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and seeing other people doing the same, and I was just like drooling, like, what am I gonna do here? Yeah. But it did make me feel like, oh my God, like I need to be doing something creative. But I sort of didn't. I think I was feeling a bit underlying anxious. Now I'm never an anxious person. Like that's the weird thing with this whole lockdown. I'm having like mental dreams on a night and things, and like anxiety sort of dreams. I don't know why, because I'm not frightened of it. But anyway, so yeah, the first week of it, I was really, I don't know, I was just getting on with it and seeing to the kids and stuff like that. So it's only really been the last week where I'm like, right, I need to actually proactively use this time, because it is actually valuable time that you'll never get back again. Yeah. So I had a meeting with Jen at
Jen Corcoran.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the day before, day before lockdown, and we had a good chat, and she was like, I must get in touch with her. She was like a really good sort of mentor / advisor to tell me, like, gave me like a list of, I was telling her everything. I want to do this, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do the other. And you know, if somebody like breaks it down for you and says, right, we'll send that email there, carry on writing that script, keep doing those ideas. So she did give me like a good little sort of spreadsheet of pointers to follow, so that I'm best using my time. But certainly the things we were talking about, the ideas of Tiana Leigh, her world, and like I say, I've written this little sketch for her and her middle class man, which is kind of quite interesting. Bringing another character in with Tiana Leigh.
Yeah.
So, but obviously I'm playing that character, which again is quite interesting. I think that would be quite interesting, seeing Tiana Leigh and then seeing me playing middle class mum. So I'd love to do that. And I was thinking, how can I wear my hair? What clothes could she be wearing?
Yeah.
So and then again, just being at the piano, and I always find, like, even though God, I'm not even that good a musician, but it gets me like enjoying myself again when I sit at the piano, not even doing anything, writing new music or new songs, just creatively sort of separating myself from the life of isolation and the life of mother and cook and teacher. And because I guess for you
have to do so many different things, aren't you?
Yeah, because for you, I suppose, you must be involved with your son and you're helping out at home, but I guess Hayley's
this much.
Yeah, and
I bought a hot tub. That's the most I've done, is I bought a hot tub.
And don't get me wrong, Chris is like great, my husband, and if I have to say, look, I need a couple of hours, I just want to like get this, I've got stuff in my head that I just want to write down, it's like, yeah, by all means. And it's good because he's been furloughed. I don't know how to use this word. Furloughed,
yeah.
So he's now around, so that's good as well.
I mean, I've got my little office in the spare bedroom, and I try to keep 9 to 5 because I just don't want to break that routine. So like this weekend, I haven't worked.
Yeah.
I've just prattled around with Isaac. Like I said, I've been doing TikToks all day with him.
Yeah.
And we've just been having fun. We've done the garden and things like that. But I will, tomorrow, it'll be 9 to 5. This is obviously, I don't class this as work, but it's sort of that, like, it's that escape type thing. I mean, obviously he's in bed now, but yeah, I mean, if Hayley wants me to do stuff, I'll do stuff, but I try to avoid it.
But she's capable of getting on with it, and you get on with your stuff.
Yeah, but like for you, you've got to be the man, and you're being the teacher, and you've also got to think about your own career.
Yeah.
Where it's the trajectory of it's going.
It's easier when they are at school, to be fair, because I do a few hours work. I work for my brother as well, who's got an ice cream ingredients, wafer cones.
Italian ice cream.
Yeah, an ice cream and stuff.
So Lucia, if you couldn't tell by the name, is Italian.
Yes.
You couldn't tell by the accent, obviously.
Yeah. Parliamo in italiano, più facile. Mangiare gelato.
So what's that like? What's that like having a? Because I'm from, my father's Algerian, but my mother's English. What's it like being in Borough and having like a real Italian heritage?
Full on. It's great. I mean, I've always enjoyed it. It was I don't know how it was for you, but I always enjoyed that side of things, and it was always like, probably looking back growing up, it was like a nice thing. Whereas I don't know if other people might not have enjoyed. You what?
Was it a talking point?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, actually, when I went to secondary school, I remember like some of the girls at school being a bit, they used to sing songs like daft. There was a couple of bitchy girls make up songs about me and things, being Italian, but.
Cornetto, stuff like that.
Cornetto, yeah, just the one cornetto, give it to me. Lucia, Rovardi gets them for free. Stuff like that. Yeah, quite funny.
Quite funny. But
quite funny.
It wasn't.
Yeah, but like stuff like that was always water off a duck's back for me. I mean, I was never, even things like my dad had a Ferrari because he's mad passionate about cars.
Yeah.
And
he's Italian,
and it's such a cliche. And he had an ice cream cone factory, but that was his thing. Like, he's not a big drinker. He's all for the family. He's a typical Italian bloke.
He's lovely. I've met him, and he's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
he's so welcoming. I mean, we took over their house. Your mum and dad were just so nice. We walked in, and it was like we had a full TV crew.
Our mum was like, Lucia, you didn't tell me there was going to be this many people. I was like, I thought there'd be 3 or 4.
We took there was something like, I think 16 cups of tea at a time.
Yeah. My mum is so used to that kind of thing, what with me and with everyone. Even like our Tom used to always use the house, but my dad used to go mad because we'd like make a film and we'd mess the loft up or something. You know, we'd film something in the loft, and then he'd go up and be like, "What the hell? Who's been up here? You can get this sorted out." And you know, we'd trash the garage or something.
Whereabouts in Italy are your family from?
So between Rome and Naples.
Okay, I used to live in Bari.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What did you do there?
It was when I was in the military.
Forces.
Yeah.
Ah, right. So was that a naval port then?
RAF. We were attached to the RAF at one of the Italian Air Force bases, a place called Gioia del Col.
Right.
So, some of the most amazing beaches down in the south.
I was going to say, did you like it?
Yeah, I loved Italy. Until I went to Greece. Like, my wife's Greek,
right.
So yeah, she's from like right up in the north of Greece, and like it's just stunning up there.
Gorgeous. So whereabouts in Greece is it?
Thessaloniki.
Is that one of the gorgeous islands?
No, it's
mainland
Greece,
but it's
right up north. There's like 3 fingers come out of the top of Greece.
Yeah.
Yeah, my missus is from the middle one.
Oh my God! Is it just?
Yeah.
I bet it's absolutely gorgeous. Is it?
Yeah, it's stunning, mate. Stunning, absolutely. We got married out there last year. Adam come to the wedding.
Oh my God! I'll have to Facebook stalk your pictures, Adam, if there's any up there.
No. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was a brilliant. Neos Marmaris was the
Neos Marmaris,
yeah, and it was just.
I do love Greece. Village. I love. We went to Skiathos. I mean, a few years ago now, and just the water and the beaches and the food, and we hired a moped, and you just go around. It's just so. Oh, it's
chilled. It's
chilled. Yeah. It's chilled. It's absolutely beautiful out there. So, will you be spending? Well, I guess who knows when we're getting anywhere at the minute. But do you normally try and spend time over there during the summer?
Yeah, we go over once a year. But hopefully, once all this is cleared and our lass gets the last bit of her, she's doing like an next part of a surgeon certificate. So once she's done that, fingers crossed, we can get out of here and go live in Greece.
Oh God, you're going to go and live there. Will you live in Athens way, or would you be more near a family?
It'll probably be up north, but my wife's mum and dad live in Athens, so yeah, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But like, I've come to the point now. I don't actually want to. I don't want my daughter to be brought up in the UK. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think there's more advantages for her outside of the UK than there is inside it. So.
Yeah.
It's always here if you wanted to come back, but I totally agree. I would take that opportunity to go and get some nice sun rather than TD where it's bloody cold all the time.
Just like I keep saying to Chris, like why are we here? why are we here? Like, you were an athlete, for God's sake. We could have like settled anywhere, but it's
okay. Yeah. I've just registered there who your husband is now.
Well, no, he was. I mean, you wouldn't. To be fair, like
long jumper.
He was a long jumper, floppy haired, skinny.
Yeah.
Oh, long jumper, yeah. I went to Athens to the Olympics.
Yeah, he got a silver medal, didn't he, at the Olympics?
You know what? He finished 5th in Athens. He was only like 22, I think, or 23 at the time. Yeah. But it was. Did you go to Athens? Were you with your wife then?
No, I wasn't with my wife then. No.
Yeah, that was lovely.
No, like say, I used to be when I lived in Hartlepool, when I was at school at Hartlepool, I used to be a long jumper. So.
No way! Did you ever do any of the inter-school stuff then?
Yeah. I represented Hartlepool a couple of times at long jump and triple jump.
So how old are you?
So I'm 40.
Ah, because Chris is 39 in September. Oh no, is he 40 in September? I think he's 39 in September. It's not 40 this year. So there's a lot of people I do meet that have like competed against him in the schools or English schools or whatever. And they're like, oh my God, I remember like jumping against your husband. You know, I'm like, oh my God, sorry, was he a prick? I apologise. He's a really nice person, but when he competes, it's just like Brick Bill.
Was he a bit of a jock when he competes?
Well, more actually when he trains. Like, we've been going out for a few months, and I didn't, you know, I was sort of like, oh yeah, he does sport sort of thing. Get on with it. And he was like, oh, you should come and watch me train. I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. So anyway, I went down and watched him training. It's all like, well, you'll know if you were down a track, you might be down for a couple of hours doing different drills and sprints, and then you're stretching, and it was all banter, and with Chris very much like just competitive. He's not competitive in real life at all, but on the track with his teammates, he'd be very competitive and down in a crack way, good crack. But if it was me, I was sitting there like, oh my God, like, oh, you're horrible. Don't say that about him. You know, you're beating everyone like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other, you know, and you're just like, oh.
I read this tweet the other day where it was husbands and wives talking about their partners. Now that they're working from home, they're getting to see what they're really like at work. And it's like, this woman had said, oh my God, my husband's one of those guys that says, let's just circle back to that. You know, like one of those kind of phrases that you say. And then Haley said, well, actually, Adam, you say potentially quite a lot. And I was like, oh, sure. I'm a potentially guy. You've got potential.
Potential, yeah.
So Lucia, are you a Middlesbrough fan? Football? Are you into the?
Yeah, I mean, I am. Yeah, for my sins, I've got 3 older brothers that are big fans. So my first ever football match was at Ayresome Park. They took me. Well, I wanted to go, and we beat Newcastle 4-1, and probably the only time we've ever beat them 4-1.
I'm a Borough fan, so.
Yes. Do you remember that game? I think it was quite a big game.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I do remember that. Yeah.
I just sat saying the Hail Marys, like literally just sat there praying the whole. I didn't watch the match. I was just like, and then the score. I was like, what's happened? Yeah! I loved it, and my brothers are so well. My eldest brother's very gentle and chilled, but when he's at a football match, he's one of these like, oh, fucking referee! You know, and I remember being like, really shocked, but you can't help it. It's that sort of passion, isn't it?
I've just been watching, last night we watched an episode of Sunderland Till I Die.
How good is it?
It's really good, man. But on the stand, in the stands, you just see people like, rah!
Yeah.
Going mad for it.
Mad.
It was really
What's
good.
that Charlie like?
Yeah, it's so funny.
I was like, what a knobhead. And Chris was like, it's really funny. And I'm like, oh, he's a knob. He's a total knob.
But it's Sunderland.
Isn't this the second series?
Yes. Have you seen any of it, Nick?
I think I saw the first one. Like, I don't want to say too much, but like, I'm a Borough fan, man. I've got no time for Sunderland.
Oh, come on, man.
I tell you what, it's good watch. It is
a really good watch. Like, I'm not even a football fan, and the only reason I'm watching it is because my friend Mike, he was the DOP on the Manchester City one.
Right.
That was on Amazon, and it was brilliant. And so
I saw the City one, I think, and
loads of people who worked on that. I think a few people actually. Ali worked on it. Ali Hutchinson.
Ah, did he?
Yeah. So Ali worked on it, and a load of other people did. Yeah.
Well, funny enough, before the lockdown, I'd been speaking to Ali to say about, you know, see if we could do anything together if he was free or. And he's been busy. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, they all were. Everybody was busy, and then everybody just effectively lost their jobs overnight.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's a tough time for the film industry, especially. It's great for like people like us who can develop projects. We can start thinking about, right, okay, we can write this and we can do that. But for those people who rely on, I'm not saying people like us, but sort of people like us creating stuff so that they can come along and just job on it, being a gaffer or a DOP or whatever the role is. They've all just lost their jobs overnight. It's horrendous. It really is. Well, you'll know this with Ross, in fact.
Yeah. I think he's done like a couple of random daft little things. But,
but nothing to the scale of what you would normally be doing.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I mean, he's lucky that he's had a good run into it the last year or two. So he's not having to, you know, and he's in like a comfortable enough position that he's not having a panic just yet.
Yeah.
But for other people that haven't been in the business as long, and they're just, you know, they're just, you're building that momentum for it all just to stop is frightening. But going back to like the projects, we should try and do a Zoom chat.
Yes.
How we would.
Well, that's what I wanted to definitely organise anyway. Hopefully this week, because I know like Tom's obviously
home.
Here at home. So if we can all get on a Zoom this week, that'd be brilliant.
Well, I did.
And we can start developing something for when things start to get back to normal.
Yeah, because at the minute it's all still up in the air, isn't it? With how long is this lockdown going to be going on for?
Yeah, I think production-wise, I think production's probably going to cease on a grand scale until around about July, August time. There won't be many really like decent sized productions starting up. Maybe the soaps will start up June, things like that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, we'll definitely get on a Zoom or a Skype or something like that. So
because what I've realised with me is I need like a little goal to reach towards. Like I need a little project. I need, like, say how I keep talking about Chris there, but I'm with him a lot recently. But how Chris is quite good at setting himself a little target.
Yeah.
And his little sort of daily, weekly goals. Mm-hmm. With me, I can end up just wafting around in circles. And you're probably more like Chris. I get the impression, like, you know, you can, right, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing.
I try to, but it's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah, it doesn't come natural to me. I will waft along and I'm writing stuff. Oh, yeah, I've done this. Oh, yeah, I've done that. But I'm not very good at, you know, I need a sort of, right, if you do this, get it to me by Friday. Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, right, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the next logical step. I mean, I'm trying to get some word out of Channel 4 about some of the other ones that I've delivered.
Yeah.
About when they're going to get released, but there's just no communication going on at all at the moment. Yeah. So I've still got 3, which haven't been released.
Yeah, because there's ASAPs as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so there's ASAP's one. There's one called What's the Password for the Wi-Fi, and then I've got the Palmo animation one. That one hasn't even been finished yet. It's just we're waiting for them to okay the last cut, and then hopefully we'll get some.
Palmo one's very good. Palmo one's very good.
Have you seen the Palmo one, Lucia?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
No, I'll send it to you. Yeah, it's brilliant. I sent it to Nick, and then Nick put it all over Facebook, and I was like, "No, please, Jed, get rid of it."
No.
I thought it was just a video you'd forwarded on to me.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't finished, but you know, it'll be one of those things. But yeah, so I mean, there's definitely things that we'll do moving forward. Like, it's weird because like we're now going in the 3rd week of this, and so the government said on was it the Wednesday?
Yeah, it said 3 weeks.
Tuesday it was going to be 3 weeks. So actually, we're coming to the end of the 3rd week of actually official lockdown.
Yeah, we're going to get locked down again, and it'll be even tighter. Even tighter.
Well,
does your wife work in the NHS, Nick?
No, she's a vet.
Oh, she's a veterinary surgeon. I thought you were saying. I heard you mention surgeon, right? But which is, I guess, well, not similar because it's veterinary. But are they getting word of things or not?
Well, because she's now on furlough, because obviously she's pregnant. There's stuff going around now. The hospitals and that are asking for veterinary nurses and vets to actually start applying to work at the NHS and stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll get put up these training courses just so that because obviously animals, there's loads of different types of animal bodies. There's only one type of human body, so they've got to learn all. They have to learn the human body a little bit before they let the vets out.
These ones have 2 legs, not 4 legs like the ones that you're used to working on.
And 2 nipples, not 8.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Like I said, it will. What Nick said there, it's going to get worse, as in the lockdown. I mean, the police have just been granted more powers today.
Yeah.
So they can now issue, if people are caught for a second offence of being out, they can get I think it's a 900. They can get arrested firstly, and it's a £960 fine.
What I find strange, because in Middlesbrough, you know, they've shut all the parks now, not the play parks.
It's just not people. Yeah.
The parks, and
Right.
I do think I understand we haven't seen anyone, we haven't been anywhere, we're not going into an office or anything. It's a shame that as a family of 5, we can't say, let's get on our bikes and scooters and go to the park and just like go through. We've got a big garden, but it's nice to be in a park and see a duck pond and have tall trees and see the squirrels and hear the birds, and to not be able to do that.
Thousands of other people are going out though, aren't they? Ruining it for everybody
They're all
else.
thinking that's the thing, everybody's thinking the same thing. And so, like, if everybody thinks that same thing, everyone will go at the same time. I mean, I walked to the shop earlier on for me half an hour exercise or whatever it was. And it was weird, like, just even when you're walking past somebody on the street.
You have to,
like,
I know.
How do I do this? And then I went in.
Scary eyes. People are like,
yeah. It's like, you can still smile at someone from 2 meters, can't you? But there's not. It's like,
it's so... not through a face mask, you can't.
But yeah, it's an odd one, and it's going to last for at least another, I think, 6 weeks on top of the first 3. You know, I mean, it's 9 weeks at the very least.
How's your little boy taking it, Adam?
He's pretty cool. Like, he's asked a couple of times to go to his nana's house.
Yeah.
We're getting a hot tub because he loves to go swimming.
Yeah.
And he's not going swimming. He goes like twice a week.
Yeah, so he's missing
normally. So we're getting that. So that'll sort of like be something for him, and obviously us on the night after he goes to bed.
Yeah.
And
that's like a good plan, actually. A hot tub. I might look into that.
It's only a few £100. It's easy.
Yeah. Where did you get it?
I just bought it online. Is it Lazy Spa?
Is it just like a blow pot tub?
It's like £400.
They're at the range. You can get them at the range.
Yeah, but you can't go to the range now.
No, but you can order online.
Track Lane today, they were stopping people going into the range.
Why?
Because basically what they were saying is it's not a food place.
I know, that's true. I wasn't surprised.
The one we've got down here is.
Yeah, the range has got food in it still,
it's
though.
Got food, but it's not a supermarket. You don't go there food shopping, do you?
No.
Yeah.
You go for like lights or something, or yeah.
But
well, the range actually started in Plymouth.
Did it?
And so we've got their head office and everything down here. So like the one that we've got down here has got a big supermarket in it.
It's got loads of pasties in it.
Oh yeah, of course there's pasties.
Oh, I could eat a pasty now.
Yeah, mate, honestly, as soon as all this lockdown's done, I will be going to my favourite pasty shop in Plymouth. And I'll be getting a big, fat, dirty pasty, because they're not Cornish, they're Devon. That's been proven now. Fact. Scientists have looked into it. There's a museum open. Mate, I'm not even joking. The new museum's opening in Plymouth, and they've got a whole display about how the pasty was invented in Devon, not Cornwall.
And what is your preferred pasty?
Just traditional pasty.
What do you like in filling?
So it's like steak, turnip, potato.
Like right, okay. Right. That's a traditional.
Wow, that sounds nice.
And then you get you've got different sizes down here as well. It's not like up north where it's just a shit steak bake fucking with dog food in it. It's like actual about that thick. And then you get like a small, which is about that big, then a medium, then a large, and then you get a thing called a gunner pasty, which is what the old gun crews used to eat. They're about that big. Slather that in red sauce, winning.
See, this is
how are you so
skinny, Nick? Can't stop thinking about food and eating it. I want a pasty now.
It is difficult, and you know, we got a parmo the other night, and we had a good laugh about it because the next day there was some left, and I said to Hayley, "Do you want? I'll bung it in the oven. Do you want some?" She was like, "No," and I went, "You didn't eat."
Who eats day old parmo?
What?
I said, "Who eats day old parmo?"
Adam.
If parmo's left over, I'll eat it. But she didn't eat any parmo on the night either, and she didn't trust it.
She doesn't like it.
No, she didn't trust it. Like, as in, like, coronavirus.
Coronavirus?
Because we got it from outside.
Yeah.
It was like that thing of, oh, what are we bringing into our house? Do you know what I mean?
I got an Indian last night. Yeah, I got an Indian and
batteries
lost
died.
her.
You had to go. So I think our batteries just.
I think our batteries died. Oh, bless her. She's cool, Lucia, isn't she?
Yeah. She's
very cool girl.
Nice lass. So we'll
see if she comes back on. If she doesn't, we'll wrap up anyway. Why is this not letting her in? Oh. Hang on. Hey! There she is.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Oh, we've got another one. We've got two of you. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's because I tried to then connect on my phone. So
all right. Okay. Fair dues.
That one.
All right. Cool. Well, to be honest, we were going to wrap up anyway.
Oh,
we were going to quickly wrap up. So what we'll do is we'll use pretty much what we've just talked bullshit about for the past 5 minutes as the ending anyway. So we'll just sort of get a bit of a
last bit. Have you got social media platforms that people can follow you on and stuff like that?
So my YouTube channel is Tiana Leigh 1. No, it isn't.
Check it out. Very funny.
Sorry.
Tiana Leigh official.
Channel is Tiana Leigh.
Yeah.
And subscribe to that. And then I've got Instagram, Tiana Leigh 1. And I've got Facebook, Tiana Leigh official. And the TikTok is the same as that. If you like a bit of TikToking. I think that's all. My personal sort of more just Lucia Rovardi Tomlinson is on Twitter as well. So if you want to actually see the real me, which is sometimes nice, because there is more to me than leopard print onesies and a big cleavage. So yeah, give us a follow on Twitter as well.
Yeah, definitely do, people, because honestly, you'll enjoy what Lucia does as Tiana Leigh and also as herself. So definitely get on that. Subscribe, like, share, get all of our stuff, and we're going to be doing some really cool shit going forward.
I'm looking forward to the next. Well, I'll say a few months. It'll probably post a few months.
Yeah. I think we'll get the next 2 months out the way, and then I think we can start moving forward on things. But we'll talk about that Skype anyway.
I was really excited for 2020. I felt like a real sort of, this is it. My youngest is at school. Like, I'm gonna hit it hard now, and
yeah.
But hey,
it's one of those things, and I think all of us can just look at that and go, well, at least we didn't fuck it up. Somebody else did. Some twat ate a bat, as you said.
Twat ate a bat, and I was stuck inside.
Yeah.
Just before you go, Adam was just telling us a bit of breaking news that had happened. Just get a reaction from you with Boris Johnson being admitted to hospital.
Yes. Well, I've just had a WhatsApp when I went on my phone there off a friend with some insider news, but it's obviously made it to the press, so it wasn't that insider news.
It's breaking news now.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that he's not very well at all. Well, bloody hell! I mean, I hope he's all right, because to get admitted into hospital, I know because my sister's an A&E sister, a nurse. And she said that they're very sort of picky with who they admit. You have to be very ill before they'll admit you.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess they're not going to take any chances with our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind Boris Johnson, and I don't want anybody to be ill with this because it sounds horrific.
Yeah.
It's like having a terrible asthma attack. You can't breathe. It's nasty.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's frightening, really. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. Hopefully he will be. Whether you agree with his politics or not, doesn't matter. It's just a sick person, isn't it?
I don't agree with him politically, but I wish him a speedy recovery.
Well, exactly.
He has a pregnant girlfriend, wife.
Yeah.
And 5,000 children. All of his kids are like, come on, die, you bastard, I'm going to get some inheritance.
What was that film that Vince Vaughn was in, where he had all the kids?
All the kids?
He was a sperm donor, wasn't he?
Oh, really? I've not seen it. It
20,000
sounds
kids or
good.
something.
I've seen there's actually a really good film, and I'll put it in the link. I'll put the description in the link. Put the link in the description. I can't think of it now, but it was this guy. It's based on a true story. He got his lesbian friend pregnant because she wanted to have a child, and so he had sex with her. And then he basically became like a hooker, effectively.
Or for like giving his sperm out.
For all these lesbian couples, so that they could have kids. And there's a photo of him with all of his children, and there was like 30 or 40 of them.
I don't think, I mean, maybe as a bloke I would like doing that, but I don't think I would be happy about my seed being spread quite so widely, would you?
Get paid really well for it.
And he had a good time. He might have got them both involved at the same time. You never know.
Exactly. Not them both at the same time.
Pregnancy for you. Pregnancy for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll put the link in the description. So yeah. Right. Thank you very much, Lucia, for coming.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, it's been. Thanks, Nick. It's lovely to meet you. Good luck with everything. It sounds very exciting, and get yourself to Greece is all I have to say. And thanks, Adam. We'll be in touch.
Yeah,
I've had a lovely night. Thank you.
No worries. See you later, love.
See you later.
Bye.
Ta-da. The next show. When are we doing the next show? Wednesday?
One night this week. That's fine. I'm pretty much free all week apart from Friday.
Yeah, cool.
I'm doing another set with Peckham Wanley.
Yep. Okay, cool. Are we going to get them on the podcast?
Sorry?
We're going to get them on the podcast?
Yeah, we'll get Peckham Wanley on the podcast. I've got a few other people in mind as well.
Yeah, nice. Well, next guest.
I'm just going to message Lucia.
Yeah. The next guest that we've got coming on the podcast later on in the week is also a Hartlepool lad, born and raised. He's also an impressionist, a very funny guy. And he got to the final of Britain Got Talent a few years ago. And we'll be joined by Mr. Danny Posthill. So me and Adam both know Danny through different ways, I think, actually. I know Dan through stand-up comedy, and when I was first starting in stand-up comedy, I asked if there was any in Hartlepool, and his name was mentioned a lot. He was working on the cruise ships at the time, and I'd sent him a couple of emails, and we had some emails back and forth, and he gave me some good advice on about getting into stand-up comedy. So
I only met him about 2 years ago when he wanted some audio recordings doing. So somebody had recommended him to come and see me when I had my little recording studio in my first office. So we did some. It was basically for his stand-up show because he does voices. He's like an impressionist, and yeah, we did some stuff like that, and then we drove to like South Wales to do a comedy. I filmed his comedy gig.
Okay.
And so that was good fun, and we just kept in touch ever since. I caught up with him when I was in Edinburgh with Matt. Had a few beers with him and a good laugh. He's a good lad, Danny, and his impressions are brilliant.
Yes, but we'll try and get a couple of impressions out of him.
Oh, absolutely! Like his Diane Abbott is brilliant.
His Trump's good. His Boris Johnson's very good.
Yeah,
I like his Beckham as well. To be fair,
I haven't seen his Beckham.
Yeah, his Beckham's decent as well.
Class. Yeah, so yeah, hope we'll get him on. Like I said, Peckham Wanley, and I've got a couple of other people film wise who I think that we might be interested in. You know, we're going to test the water, I think, with everybody, see what kind of people
gets the most views.
To be honest, like I said to you earlier on today, I'm not that bothered about that kind of thing. It's more
it's just building. I like the banter. The banter's good.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, we talk on the phone anyway. So
yeah.
While Lucia's not here, she's going to come back on. She might come back on, I think. But we'll talk quickly about Habib and Tony.
What have you heard now?
Habib's now said send location.
Yeah, but the camp. Where are they going to go?
Don't know. But Habib's now. He's literally on Instagram or whatever, and he's like, "I want to fight. Send location." So, what do you do?
Yeah. I can't
Tell me what was WrestleMania like? Did you watch it?
Oh, mate. So for me, I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
Couldn't get into it. I thought it was awful. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me, and they'll say that the Undertaker AJ Styles match, but it was just, yeah. We'll see what tonight's is like.
It's an audience sport.
Well,
it's an entertainment show.
Yeah, Vince, like it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't. You're detached from it now. You know what I mean? Because as a fan, and you've got other fans cheering, and you've got the audience getting behind all the wrestlers, the entrances, when the big moves happen, everybody goes, "Oh!" And there's none of that, and you can hear the wrestlers talking to each other.
Did they not pump some audience noise into the?
No.
See, I've seen them do it with the UFC. They did it with the UFC in Brazil, and it was fine because it's two guys or two girls in a cage wanting to kill each other.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it's real. So whether there's an audience there or not, it's real. With these guys, it's they've got to work together to make the moves happen. And if you can hear them talking to each other,
it takes you out of it. It takes you out of enjoying the wrestling. If you can hear somebody go, "Oh, we'll do a fucking reverse whatever," and it come off the ropes, whatever it is that they're whispering to each other, and then you can. It just kept taking me. And then one of the worst wrestling matches I've ever seen, Bill Goldberg against Braun Strowman. They literally hit 4 moves each, and then that was it. And that was for the world title, man.
Wow.
It was awful, awful. But we'll see what tonight's like. I won't be staying up to watch it. I'll just watch it again in the morning. But
yeah, did you stay up last night to watch it? Did you? No. Yeah, you never stay up, do you? I mean, when it's a UFC weekend, folks, right? I stay up, or I get up. Like he doesn't at all. We'll talk the next day. I just record it and then watch it when I get up about 7 o'clock the next morning. How do you record it?
Sleep.
How do you record it?
What do you mean? How do you record it? Same as you can record anything.
How? Like, I don't understand that anymore. Like, have you got a video player? I don't have it on my TV. I've got an app on.
It's pay-per-view, isn't it? Okay. It's just pay-per-view, isn't it?
No, but it's
like BT
Sport. It's just on my phone.
Yeah, BT. Oh, okay. You can't record it on your TV.
No, it doesn't go on my TV. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy. That's the thing. I enjoy getting up. I don't like watching it the next day. I enjoy waking up or staying up all night.
See, I can stay up. Like I'll wake up and I'll stay off social media and I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's no, and I wake up pretty early every morning anyway. So what's the point of staying up when I get up about an hour after it actually finishes?
Yeah, fair dues. And hopefully we'll get some more MMA people on soon as well.
Yeah, I will. I need to chase up a couple on that because Jenks, who we were talking to the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy that knows them all.
Yeah. So he was a champion judo.
He was Southwest champion or something.
Is it fighter or player when you judo? I don't know. Judo player, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'd have said it was a judo fighter.
No, I think it's a judo player. It's very similar to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You're not a fighter, you're a player.
Right.
Apparently.
There we go. It doesn't look like Lucia's coming back on then, no.
I'm just going to quickly message her again. She said, trying to get back on. So sorry, my battery went. And I was like, no worries. Oh, you've gone now.
I am still here.
Oh, you're still there?
Yeah.
It's just gone, that's all.
Yeah. The camera's a bit dodgy on this.
Oh, yeah, you said last time, actually. I'm just going to send her the link.
Any of that? The what?
I'm just going to send her the link again.
We can edit all this bit out, can't we? So.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I can, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can.
I'm going to teach you how to edit.
I can just about spell edit.
You are?
I said I can just about spell edit.
I'm going to teach you how to do it. Don't worry. It'll be cool.
I don't know what see what this week brings. I think we are going to get locked down this week now.
Well, I think it's going to get worse. I don't think when you say we're going to get locked down, we're already locked down. But
yeah, but they'll strip it. You can't go out for exercise. You can't go out for this, and then we might end up just getting what's happening in Italy. I think where everybody gets like a care package. There you go. That's what last year.
You say that?
No. All I see is a white screen.
Coronavirus Prime Minister admitted to hospital for coronavirus tests.
Eh?
That's what it says.
Boris Johnson's been admitted to
Hospital, yeah.
Hospital. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is. I don't wish that shit on anybody. Don't really like the guy, but no, don't wish that.
Yeah, I'm politically, I'm not a fan, but yeah, man.
Let's talk a quick bit about politics. Keir Starmer. What do you think?
Yeah, new Labour leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say I know too much about the man.
So yeah, great chat with Lucia. I think she's got a lot of potential to do some amazing stuff. She really does.
Yeah.
She's a lovely
Seems
person.
like a very talented lady.
She definitely is. She really is. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. Get well, Boris.
That is, get well, Boris. That is episode 5 in the bag. If you want to give a like on the Facebook page, you can find us Lockdown with Adam and Nick. YouTube is
it's on my YouTube channel at the moment, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set us up a proper one.
Okay.
Another YouTube channel for me to run. Fuck, man, I've got.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I've got ridiculous amounts.
To your YouTube channel.
You are.
Like, if people check out Adam's YouTube channel, there's more than this on there. He puts quite a lot of content on. So
I do. I've just uploaded one. I pick them on these things. Actually, it's getting some. Yeah.
This is one of the many things that he does. So go across to his YouTube channel, give him a little subscribe, and share his content, people.
Yeah. All right. Cheers for that. Cool. All right. Nice one, mate. Speak to you soon.
Bye, mate. And we'll see you Wednesday where we've got the hilarious Mr. Danny Postal.
Lovely. Cheers, dude.
Peace.